Okay, so this is the 28th of May. I'm here in Weymouth, and I'm just going to do a little re-update of my rigging of the boat. I did one about a year ago, and I've had a lot of requests, and not much has changed, but I thought I'd go through it again for everyone's benefit. Starting back here on the rudder. The only thing that really you got to make sure on the rudder is make sure that this is interfering really well here with the gudgeon, because or the pintle, because you don't want this to ever pop out. So if it's set too high, it'll just go on the wrong side of this this pin, and that's kind of not desirable. Other than that, just with the rudder tie down, in here I got one purchase in there, and it comes through, and I actually use the rooster tiller here, and it actually feeds through the tiller. And then I have another purchase up here, so then you get the 4-to-1. I never take up my rudder. It just stays down, and when I come in, I just unclip it and slide it up on the deck. It's just one less thing to go wrong, I feel. But I have seen a lot of top sailors use it. Just move into the cockpit area here. The traveler line, just find a line with no creep at all. This is a Vectran line, and don't make it too thin. If it's too thin, then you're going to have a problem with the traveler easing slightly, or and also because it'll slip in the cleat, and also it'll cause the blocks to rise up. You can see here the traveler's a little loose, but you want, when you're going upwind, the blocks to sit right down in the corner. And I find with a thinner traveler, it has the block runs a little too smooth, and it likes to ride up, which I think is not so good. The hiking strap adjustment. Actually, the 6mm Rooster Mainsheet is quite a good rope for this. Basically, that loosens it. To tighten it, I grab the red end and tighten it up, and then that keeps it good and tight, and it doesn't seem to slip at all. The plug here for the auto baler, I like to take it off when it's windy, and I just tuck it under the rail here. You can see that. Yeah, so I just tuck it under there, and that's helpful. Other than that, just some bungee here to keep the strap from flipping over. The thicker bungee seems to do a little better job. Move over to the Mainsheet. The Mainsheet, I use a 6mm Mainsheet, and just pretty simple deal. Run through a pretty standard way. Nothing in particular new about this. No crosses in there or anything like that. And make sure the knot in here is really not going to come out, because if it comes out, you're going to have the end of your day pretty fast. The centerboard trunk, I just use the normal stopper. You can try the new one. I haven't really found a big difference with the new stopper. Just make sure that these, before you regatta, these are close together. Up here I put a little bit of Velcro. There is a maximum size for this Velcro, so just find out what that is and put it in there. You don't want to have it oversized. Had that a measurement recently. The Outhaul here, I use Dyneema ropes, and you can see here I've got it marked different places where it comes through the cleat. That just helps me to know where the settings are. And the mast base here, I've used 29mm Harkin T2 blocks. They're kind of fashioned on there like that. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I'll just go to the other side of the boom here. You can see how it comes. So it runs through, up through one of these blocks here, which is fashioned to the mast, along the sail, and just that's the primary right there. And you can see this is just another T2 block that's made up to the cleat in the same way. Don't make it up too tight. If it's too tight, it'll kind of sit up like this, and that kind of doesn't lead as well. You want it to sit flat. And then the part that attaches the sail, you just have it connected to the back end of the T2 block, through the end, up to here, and connect to the bottom. You'll see, you know, I don't, I try and lead the moving part above the dead end, and that's just because occasionally the line can get stuck inside of the heat of underneath the eye if it rides up at all. I suppose last year I'm now using a block at the end here. That's just because these blocks have got so good and so light that why not? And then the bungee system, the bungee retainer, it connects, one end connects to the back of the block, that block with the blue rope on it, and then it comes up through the end of the clew strap, and then goes around the boom and goes into the cleat again. So, and then you can adjust it, but generally you just get it to the right length and then cut it, and so it doesn't have to be adjusted. It should just be the right tension to ease when there's no tension on the sail in light winds. Moving on to the Cunningham. The Cunningham line, first of all, you got to make one of these things. Goes around around the base of the Vang tang, and you should be pretty tight on the mast. I'll just move over a little bit. So yeah, and the reason I'm using this block and not a T2 block is you see the sides perfectly flat. That lets it ride alongside the mast pretty well. It seems like these T2 blocks they don't ride as well because they're curved to the bottom, and that makes it not so happy to sit upright like this one. So, and then at the top, you have, you know, it's spliced onto one of these 29 mil standard carbon blocks. Comes down, comes through, back up, and then comes down through the T2 block and then into the cleat. Now the other side, if I move this out of the way, I connect it down on the tang, and the reason I don't connect it up here to this pin is I just want to make it as the force as close to the mast as I can, because well, this pin takes a lot of load. So if I can move it down close to the mast, I figure that's better. And then it's got a couple wraps around the tang, and it goes straight up, and then goes around the boom twice, and it actually slips underneath. Slips. It's got like a slip knot around it, which is maybe I can just rotate it, and you can see how it sits. You can see that's how it goes. That kind of holds prevents the rope from getting in between the gooseneck here and the boom itself, which can cause some chafing. And then it comes up through the eye and then connects to the block. So that's your Cunningham. And now the Vang. Vang definitely prefer the Harkin unit, and I think most people do. It just seems like it's a little higher quality unit. So start with the primary line. The top block, I actually prefer the halt block, and that's because you can put two Vang keys in it, which is good, because if you break one Vang key, it's really windy, then you can just slot the other one in and keep racing, and that's no drama. The Harkin system, you can't do that. It's too small. So I start and I connect this is another Dyneema line onto the bottom end, runs down around here, back up, and then I put it onto a double block. I have one less purchase than the standard factory block. So what I do is I connect it down here, and it runs up through, back down, through, and then it leads nicely down so that you can adjust the rope accordingly. And this handle then it makes it a lot. Putting a little tube on here makes it a lot better. This is another no stretch line. It is covered. It's probably the only covered line I have on the boat. And again, it's got a Victran core, so it has no creep at all. Yeah, you don't need a very big diameter line here. You just want something that's going to run really well and not stretch. The only thing about the Vang is either put a piece of bungee around here or tape it every time, because you don't want your key to fall out especially when you pull your sail too blocked around the mark, around the lure mark. That can be a disaster. I connect the tail of this line, the tail of it, to where the bungee connects. The bungee connects to the centerboard, and we'll show you how that happens next. And then I slip this on the top, and then it can never get out of my reach, which is nice. Regarding the centerboard bungee, really simple system. Thin piece of bungee that won't jam out the blocks, and basically all I do is just go through the hole, and then put 2 half hitches in it, and then connect it to the top, and that'll pretty much do it. Other than that, I think that's the whole boat covered. Sometimes I get questions about how long my tiller extension is. That's where it ends. And what max ease is on the Outhaul, I'll just go to the end. That's approximately max ease on the Outhaul, and probably not using that in anything other than really light winds, downwind. That's it. Just quick thanks to Folk Marine. That's where I got all this stuff, and they've been very helpful. Quick thanks to McLaren, and big thanks to Can Fun, one of my biggest supporters. Stay tuned.